Creative Nonviolence. Mary Dean is here, and she just returned from Afghanistan from her second trip in this year. She's spent 7 weeks in Afghanistan this year. She's been going to conflict areas for 25 years, and she knows whereof she speaks. So please welcome Mary Dean from Voices for Creative Nonviolence.
Wow, what a perfect day for a march. We've had the Arab Spring, now we need the U.S. Autumn. In August, I visited a hospital in Kabul called the Emergency Surgical Center for Civilian Victims of War. It's run by an Italian organization, and it provides free care to all victims of war. Being a physical therapist, I had the opportunity to accompany the medical staff on their rounds through wards filled to capacity. The true reality of the senselessness and grotesqueness of this war truly hit home after 4 hours of visiting one patient after the next, with the largest wounds I've ever seen, triple amputations due to mines hitting children and adults, multiple fractures, spinal cord injuries, and blindness, lives destroyed. Over an estimated 40,000 victims have been killed since the U.S. invasion of Iraq, one of the least developed countries in the world. The average life expectancy actually dropped this year from 44 to 42 years old. The whole time I was there, I kept thinking about if I were an average Afghan citizen, I would not be alive right now. According to UNICEF, it is the worst place in the world to be a child or a mother, and 1 in 4 children die before the age of 5. Millions have fled the violence of the war and have been displaced to the capital of Kabul. I was shocked to see this city of 5 million with no sewer system, bombed out buildings, mostly unpaved roads, and the worst air quality in the world. We visited one of the refugee camps on the outskirts of Kabul where thousands of families live. The housing consisted of mud walls and floors with roofs covered by plastic tarps to offer some privacy, though there is little protection from the winter snow and cold there. They have little access to food and water and no electricity or sanitation. The poverty was extreme. Right across from the street from the refugee camp is a brand new U.S. NATO military base, which stretches out over a mile long. And when we traveled outside of the capital, we saw many new U.S. NATO military bases popping up everywhere. The psychological effects of the violence have also been devastating, with the majority of the population suffering from PTSD and significant mental health problems. Drones are dropping bombs on civilians daily. Terror-inducing assassinations, 3,000 night raids a year, secret prisons, and torture are only increasing anti-U.S. anger. The pain and suffering will last for generations. It costs the U.S. taxpayers over $10 billion per month for the war in Afghanistan. Military contractors, outside legal and legislative scrutiny, now outnumber U.S. deployed troops. As General Smedley Butler said in 1935, war is a racket. While U.S. corporations benefit economically, over 1,600 U.S. soldiers have been killed and tens of thousands wounded. The majority of the people in both Afghanistan and the U.S. now want the war to end. In spite of this, however, the U.S. is currently in negotiations with the Afghan government to sign the U.S. Strategic Partnership Agreement. According to this agreement, the U.S. will maintain military bases there until the year 2024. There are no military solutions to the problems in Afghanistan. We are propping up a corrupt government and paying off corrupt warlords. This is done in order to transport supplies and protect private contractors, carrying out ill-advised work projects by U.S. companies. The primary issues of Afghanistan remain ones of social defragmentation and poverty, which can only be solved through economic development and strengthening of social institutions. There is no more room or time for excuses. The war in Afghanistan, now the longest war in U.S. history, needs to end. On moral, financial, and strategic grounds, the continuing of the war cannot be justified. Thank you.